months of 2022, it increased from 2.71 billion US dollars in the first 9 months of 2021 to around 3.053 billion dollars as well. And this is like a 12.7% increase. So it's a good thing to have these opportunities and have a lot of people going, because again, a lot of, these remittances are coming back to the country. A lot of people would send to their families and all those things. But do you have like one of the most commonest countries that people want to go to? Because I know there's some people who would want to go maybe to the US, others would want to go to Canada. But at the same time, there's a lot of like perception as far as, no, you want to go to this country? Absolutely no. Go to this other country where because there are better opportunities. All these reasons that people give. But from your experience, what are some of these other countries that people really want to go?
From my experience, I'll give, according to my company, the data we have and the numbers we have. Very many people choose Canada.
Oh, really?
Yes, because the Canadian dollar is favorable.
Yes.
Canada and UK is what most people prefer, according to my data and according to my study and according to what I see most of the time in our company.
Yeah.
USA, not so much.
Okay.
But Canada,
a lot of people want to go there.
Yeah.
Why is that the case? I mean, you talked about the dollar, which is like a bit favorable, right?
Yes.
To so many people. But aside from that, why do you think a lot of Kenyans want to go to Canada?
Because I feel like Canada, the work permit, like once you get an open work permit, you can work like 2 to 3 jobs, and then it's easy to get a job there. It's easy to to maneuver around, and then they pay well. Understand? And the cost of living is not so high. Unlike other countries, you can't compare like UK and Canada. UK cost of living is too high, but Canada is favorable, and you meet that there are a lot of job opportunities and they really employ each and every day. I don't say other countries don't, they do, but Canada, people love it.
A lot of people love it and would want to go there. And we also see this. I mean, you go online, there's so many opportunities, and you would see these advertisements and all those things, and I know a lot of people have been duped, first of all, right? Because you see this opportunity online, you don't verify, first of all, to see whether this is true or not, is it legit or not. You easily click on the link, and then, I mean, listen, it's the internet, right? A lot of things could happen, and then you end up being duped. So have you had like, some of these stories from people? And
I have really had these stories, and they're really sad and depressing. Number one, because you meet somebody has just come from mashinani. You just got to sell a piece of land. So you get someone online on TikTok, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and then somebody is promising you to take you to Canada, promising you to take you to UK, but you don't even know. He doesn't even have a current office, or even if there's an office, it's an office with a table and a desk. I get these cases each and every day. Clients come to my office, they're like, oh, Ivy, this and this happened. This guy was like telling me to pay 300,000. Imagine on this economy, somebody duping you 300,000. That's a lot. They really happen, and it's really sad. I've always asked and tried to see the way our government maybe can help us close down these con companies, because there are too many. And they lie to you live, like when you're just like, oh, this deal, because you're out there, you've never had experience, you've never done research. What I would like to tell people today is do some research before you give your money to someone. Do some background search, to avoid these cases. But I will assure you they are there. And there are so many, and they're so sad to hear these stories. And then you hear somebody has been conned on the first company, didn't learn, again still wants to go to Canada, goes to the next one, again you're conned, So I don't know, I just wish people will do some background search before you give your money to someone, or before you commit. Also get to know, where is the physical office? Is this an office that can be moved overnight, Because you just meet, it's just a simple desk and a table, and you're just like, oh yes, have my money. Nah.
Okay. And again, this is not a new case. We've had this over and over again. We've had this on the news. We've seen people, and I'm pretty sure we also know someone who has been duped.
Yes.
Because of this. Because there's some people who are really desperate to just go out and seek these opportunities, right? And there's some people who genuinely want to go out and explore what is out there. I mean, like they say, the world is your oyster, right? There's so many opportunities beyond what you can see, right here in the country or even across the region. Some people would want to go abroad as well. So then having this experience and dealt with people and seen, you know, and heard the stories of how people are being duped, how people are just, you know, losing their money left, right, and center because of the same. So what are like the warning signs that this is not either a good deal or a company that you could trust? What are like the telltale signs that really people should know? Because like you're saying, someone will be duped, they don't learn, someone else comes and says, listen, I am legit, I can get you there, but then again they end up being duped. So what is some of these telltale signs?
Number one, do they have a business permit? That's number one. Number two, do they have a license to be operating as a labor, the labor export license? Do they? Are they registered at National Employment Authority? You know? Number four, where's the physical office? How does the office look like? You know, you cannot just tell me to give you 300K and your table is like 20,000, you know, or your desk. Number five, you also need to know how long has that office been there. You know, you need to do some background search because you can meet an office was opened that day, you know.
Yeah, just for that purpose,
you know, we have offices for rent.
Yeah.
You know, you can rent an office for an hour. So when I know my client is coming, I'll get an office, you know.
Yeah.
So you need to be also keen on that. You also need to be keen on social media background check. Have they even gotten a visa, you know? Do they have testimonials, you know? You also check, who's this person? Because, I mean, these con people will just tell you on the phone, you know? Insist on a meetup. Do not meet in a private place or like a hotel. Meet up in the office, do a search, look at the office, how is the quality, you know? Don't just give your money to just anybody.
Just anyone. And you know, sometimes a lot of people, I mean, there's that part. There's that part where people do not do background research. People do not do the bare minimum just to get to understand, first of all, is this company legit or not, right? But at the same time, sometimes, you know, these con people can be crafty at times, right? This person will have like you say, an expensive, you know, office. I mean, con people have their way, right, of just conning people. But the most important thing is, first of all, understand that do they have a physical address, right? Do they have a business permit? But even for the business permits, you know, people can, you know,
they can.
But
it has
get something.
You can scan. You scan it to verify.
Okay.
If they show your business permit, please make sure you take a picture and scan
and
immediately.
Then scan and verify
it. Because it has a web scan.
Okay.
Every business permit that is legit has a web scan.
Has a web scan. Okay. Something that you really need to be mindful for. And also understand, like you're saying, their physical location. Have they been there for a very long time?
How long have they been there?
Yes. Yeah. That is also a big factor because, again, it's true. Some people can just rent out a space for like a day, get their money, and completely disappear.
And you just come here and you find a new different office. You're like, I was here, there was somebody, you know, you do not have any proof.
And there's so many of those stories. I really want to hear those stories. So again, at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter, I am sure you know someone or you've heard of these stories. I really want to hear your stories as well, as far as your search for greener pastures and how that was like for you. Because again, like we said, there's so many people who have been duped for. Okay, so there's so many reasons, like we said, that people would want to go out. There's some people who'd want to go to study. There's some people who'd want to go to work. Others just, you know, tour, and others want to live there. So is the process different, you know, when it comes to either applications? First of all, getting to understand where these opportunities are. Is it different for each of these categories? And do you mind if we just go through them one by one? Maybe we can start with the most common, and that is people want to work, right? Yeah. So is the process different when you're searching for these opportunities? First of all, where do you go to? What are some of these links that might be a little bit legit for people to understand, and then what is that process?
Not a little bit legit.
Legit.
We don't want to go to a little bit. So
okay.
Basically, I'll start with a work visa. It has different requirements. You need to show that you have studied, because we have skilled and we have non-skilled laborers. For skilled are people who've studied, you know. Unskilled are like farmers, fruit pickers. You don't need a course to do that. You don't need papers to do that. But if it's like skilled job opportunity, you have to provide us with your documents to show that you have worked, you know, your curriculum vitae. You also have to give us documents like maybe I can just take them through the documents we require. We require your birth certificate, applicant's ID copy. We require your bank statement, parents' ID copy, siblings. If you have siblings, the ID copies. If you have marriage, you have you bring your spouse ID and a marriage affidavit or certificate. Then you also bring your spouse's ID. You bring your if you have kids, babies there and they're over 18, you bring their IDs. If they're under 18, you bring their birth certificates. Yeah. We also require a good conduct, your curriculum vitae. Yeah. You also require your papers from school, from college, from university, wherever you've studied, and a very strong curriculum vitae. And we also require something we call bank statement. Then that way we now get to process or facilitate with a work permit. Then after the work permit, we can be able to facilitate with the visa through the documents I have asked for. Yeah.
Like a lot of documents.
Yes, it's a whole bunch of documents.
Right? It's a lot of things that is required.
The Canadian Embassy requires all this. You know? They need to show that you have family ties, you have a reason to come back. You won't go and get greener pastures and not come back.
And not come back to your country. Okay.
Yeah, you also need to show that you have studied, because we cannot give you like a job, like for example for an IT personnel, and you don't have experience, you know. You have to have a certain level of experience. But you get to meet that they vary. Because the job opportunities are not the same, they vary. They are different ones, There are different requirements, there are different level of educations, you know. So that's now where we come in. Basically, and now we talk and advise you on what exactly is needed. Because it varies. It's not all the same for every. I just gave out documents. I mean, I just gave out the list of requirements. According to them in general. But it varies. It varies,
depending on the job opportunity that one is seeking. Okay, how about we take a break? But there's something that you've mentioned which I think it's very important for us to talk about, and that is, you said you need a very strong CV, okay? Yes, there's some people who are watching us and just, their CV says name, ID, occupation, what is this other thing that people write on their CV? Hobby, right? And then
I am a self-centered person.
Yes.
I can work under no supervision, no, a strong
CV. Okay, let's take a break, but of course when we come back then I need to understand from you, what exactly does a strong CV look like? And what is it that people need to understand, that what is it that need to be on that CV to earn you a chance or give you a better chance of, you know, getting this opportunity? Because it's one thing to apply and it's another thing to get the opportunities. So let's take that break. But remember, the question that we're asking you today is very easy, and that is, have you tried seeking opportunities abroad? At NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter is how you can reach us. Share your story, because I know you have a story to share, okay? And of course, we'll be going through your feedback after the break. Stay with us.
What made you decide to become a doctor?
It's because my father needed one. And you, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be happy like you.
Life insured is love assured. Are you an artist or content creator? Would you like to monetize your content and make passive income? Join us today on Skiza Nation by reaching out to us on our social media platforms, or send us an email at skiza@ke.nationmedia.com, or call us on 0719 038 575. Skiza Nation, supporting local talent.
I especially want to thank Natalia Garcia. Without her talent, without her creativity, without her ideas and dedication, the Esquenda designs wouldn't be what they are today.
Bridget, my daughter, is the principal model.
What? This is the last straw. What else is in their planning? It's already enough to have those two nobodies as employees. And now she's letting one of them model for her. That's a joke.
No, not now. Carmen.
Go ahead.
Oh, you really are going to...
Take it easy, Carmen. Take it easy. Let's go.
You were saved by the bell because
Let's go.
Head over heels.
Blueband peanut butter, made with 100% pure peanuts and a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with Blueband peanut butter. Available in 200 grams, 400 grams, and 800 grams. Buy a pack today.
Furahia maisha bora, linda jamii yako, linda biashara yako. Chukua bima leo. Tuna bima ya maisha, afya na ajali, mali hata elimu. Chukua bima leo. Linda jamii yako, linda biashara yako. Chukua bima leo. Tuna bima ya maisha, afya na ajali, mali hata elimu. Chukua bima leo.
Blueband peanut butter, made with 100% pure peanuts and a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with Blueband peanut butter. Available in 200 grams, 400 grams, and 800 grams. Buy a pack today.
All right, welcome back. The show is Your World, and of course it's all about seeking or searching for greener pastures. And of course, you know, this morning we just first of all want to understand what are some of these common mistakes that people make. What is it that you need to know when you are applying for these opportunities? And even after you get these opportunities, what you need to do just to make sure, you know, hashtag sustainability, so that some of us who are here back at home don't look at you and thinking, lakini sulienda maju, what did you come back with? Okay, so how do you harness these opportunities, you know, together with everything that it comes with it? All right, and of course the question that we're asking you today is pretty simple, and that is, have you ever tried seeking for opportunities abroad? All right, I can see a number of you have a lot to say as far as the question, and that is, have you tried seeking opportunities abroad? And like we said, at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter is how you can reach us. So better yet, give us a call, and of course our lines are open, and share your story as well. So someone says, I'm still heartbroken and depressed from what I went through. And this is Abil Jr. What happened, Abil? Please share your story. I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And then someone else says, of course, this is Pat Kips, says, of course, in a foreign land, you don't expect to fit in just like that. No, there are several factors. For example, climate, food, prevailing blows, some battling discrimination, language barrier, and so forth. All right. And then someone else says, okay, someone says, of course, yes, but quite experience here dreaming kakatika, like you were dreaming and then you woke up. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, and then someone else says, I have not, I do not want, I won't, I will go abroad just for tour and come back. Why is that the case? This is Weekly for Mondio Kuku on Facebook. Why is that the case? I really want to hear that, okay? And then Larry Kikuyu says, the bad experience starts at the immigration offices in Nairobi, where you are frustrated in getting your passport. So there's a lot of issues, a lot of challenges that people experience. You know, first of all, when just thinking about searching for these opportunities and even taking those steps to make sure that you have the right necessary documents. I mean, a passport is like most basic
yes,
of this opportunity.
That's number one.
Yeah, and you know, I've had a lot of people say, yeah, me, I want to go everywhere, me, I want to, you know, experience this, me, I want to live in this country. And then you ask them, do you have a passport? They're like, no, nitatafuta passport when I already, you know, see that opportunity. And that's a wrong move, right? Because something can happen in between. You might get this opportunity and you are not ready for it. Matt, earlier on you talked about a CV. Can we talk about what exactly a strong CV looks like?
A strong CV looks like it has to have a very strong work experience.
Okay.
And you also have to have studied.
Okay.
You know, you have to put the whole years you've studied, what you've done, where you've done it from.
Yeah.
You know, not just, it shouldn't be weak. By weak, I mean, you know, the people who write high school, primary, and then they write like maybe I've done a diploma in this, you know, and then it's done.
And then that's it.
It has to be something that is detailed. It has your work experience, it has years of schooling, what you've studied, you know. It has to have details. It has to be heavy.
Yeah, very strong. And especially when it comes to the skills that you have acquired during these years of experience, right? Because again, there's some people who just write what they have done, where they have worked, and then that's it. But the skills that you have acquired from those experiences, people sometimes leave it aside. Okay, so of all these documents that you have listed, what are some of these things that people come with? And you're like, but where is this document? Which ones are more necessary, like mandatory to have? I mean, like we said, a passport is like basics, right? And which ones would be good if you have these other documents on top of what is required? And especially for work. We've not talked about the students' visa as well.
What you find is that they're all necessary. Everything I listed
is
all necessary. It's mandatory.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But you find there are some, I don't want to call them funny people, but they come to the office, they're like, hey, I want to go to Canada.
Yeah.
Do you have a passport?
No.
You know, the first thing is you have to file for passport at the immigration's offices, because we cannot do anything without passport.
Yeah.
Then I think everything is mandatory. You have to have every document that I listed, you know?
You know, the reason why I'm asking that is because you might find someone who has just graduated, right?
Yeah.
And of course, they'd want to seek, again, job opportunities maybe abroad. They might not have the bank statement because, again, they've not been earning. So, you know, they do not have a bank statement or this kind of money to show that, you know, I will be good. I can support myself there, and even coming back home, I will still be okay. So people might not have that. So if you don't have that, then that's it.
Like what happens is you find most people don't have a strong bank statement. Maybe some people just have a statement for like 15,000.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So what we do in such cases is we ask for, you can have a sponsor. You can have a family member to stand in as your sponsor. So you bring their bank statement and their ID, we put them as your sponsor, you understand?
Okay.
And also we can also put proof of assets, maybe a title deed, maybe something like title deed, car logbook, you know, just to be to show you have property, you know, to show you have some money, you know.
Okay.
You can use that.
But this person might not have it, so the sponsor person
the sponsor now is when the sponsor comes in.
Yeah.
You find there are people who have a car, but they don't have a bank statement. Yeah. They use M-Pesa, they use cash, you know. So basically, you meet in such a case, that is when now somebody with an proof of asset comes in.
Okay.
But we get to advise our clients in different ways because they have different stories and different experiences, different backgrounds, you know.
Yeah. And sometimes what I've seen is a lot of people are asked to write sort of like a motivation letter, right? Letter. So it's like, why do you want to go, first of all, to this country, or why, and work there? So I don't know what that looks like in terms of then making sure that you have a strong motivation letter, right?
No, that's why we come in as a company and help you write that.
Okay.
Yeah, that should not be no worry.
Okay. Hey, so you don't want to give us these tricks. Okay, so we'll leave it at your discretion. And that is why, again, what you're saying, that you need to work with a professional to help you, you know, maneuver some of those things. Because it can be a very complex task, first of all, and a very complex story. Someone just said, first of all, just getting a passport in itself is an issue, and even getting the visa as well can be a bit of a complex, you know, journey for one to go through. Okay, so for those people who want to study abroad, right? What are some of these requirements? What exactly does that process look like?
Well, for study visa, we require maybe you find they're different, you know. There's scholarship. There are people who are going for scholarships. They've applied for a scholarship and they've gotten it, you know. So in such a case, the only thing we have to do is process, to facilitate a visa.
Okay. And they don't have a passport to begin with?
No. you cannot apply for a scholarship without a passport.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's number one. Yeah. And then you find like there are people who want to study on their own, pay tuition fees on their own. You know. In such a scenario, we just require maybe I should just go back again to the documents.
Yes.
We require the same documents I had said earlier. Proof of education. Have you gotten to Form 4, you know? Have you studied anything? We require all that to facilitate the process.
Okay.
Yes, but we do the application. We book for you a place to stay. We basically do everything for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe just come to you and then present my documents and then that's it.
Present your documents, we get into a contract and then that's it.
Oh, there's a contract. Okay.
Yes, there's a contract because we cannot do visa facilitation without a contract, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So what exactly is detailed in the contract? Or
well, in the contract, details are the whole process, what time is it, how long is it going to take?
Okay.
You know, sometimes it's on very rare occasions. Sometimes it happens, but on rare occasions, sometimes the embassy might decide to give us a denial. You know, so that's why now the contract comes in, that to prove to you and to give you assurance that in case such a scenario happens, we will reapply for you.
Okay.
You understand? You also happen to see that the contract is between me and you. I mean, me as a company.
Yeah.
I stand in place for the company and you. You know why? Because we do not just want to do things by word of mouth.
Okay.
We want to have things written.
Yeah.
You understand? I do not want to have a conversation with you, oh, we're going to facilitate your visa, we're going to do this, but we do not have anything written. That's not where the contract comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think also that helps, I mean, for both parties, because remember, like we said earlier on, there's so many people who have been duped because they were just given word of mouth. You give me this amount of money.
It helps to have and to grow that trust with your clientele.
Yeah, I see that. And again, like you said, and especially for those who are applying for study, either visas, right? Not scholarship per se. You said at least have like a Form 4 KCSE certificate,
yes, you
right?
Have to have that, yeah.
Okay, and then maybe something that you have studied as you wait.
It's a plus if you have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not like mandatory. You need to have something else that you have studied.
Yeah, because you just get like you're done with Form 4, or you've gone through the British system, and you wanna go. You know, you wanna go study something.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a must you have a degree or a diploma or a certificate.
Okay.
Once you have like your Form 4 certificate, you know, now we can be able to place you. Understand? Under what you fit in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For tours, I mean, it's pretty easy. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people know. But again, do you just want to go through them very quickly? What are some of these things? What are some of the requirements? What is it that people really need to know? Because there's a lot of people who are complaining and say, yeah, I have all these documents. I have followed, you know, the right channels. I've done everything right, but still, I have been denied visa, right? So do you want to just go through some of those things that might lead, that you need to have, first of all, that might lead you to being denied visa, or might, you know, reduce your chances as well of being denied visa? Yeah. So
basically, I'll take you through that. So you find that some people, many people want to travel actually, to travel fun, family, honeymoon.
Yeah.
But you do not do a background check first. Then maybe you've not even booked a hotel. You've not booked anything, like you just, oh, I want to go to Canada. No. You have to like show proof of where you're going to be staying, where you're going, you know, who is going to be hosting you if you're being hosted, you know. You have to prove that's number one. Number two, you also have to prove you have a return ticket.
Okay.
You get me?
Yes.
Then you also have to, I usually advise my clientele, those who are going on tourist visits, do a background check first, get to know language, get to know means of transport. You don't land on the airport and you're like, hi, how are you? How do you guys go?
You know, I'm from Kenya.
I'm from Kenya. I don't know how to go about this, you know. Do a background check.
You'll be conned. Yes.
Get to know, are there Ubers? Can I do a car rent? Can I, you know, how do I go about that? Because you get, most people get stranded at the airport. You've landed, you've gotten, oh, this is Canada, you know.
Yeah.
But now the question is, how are you getting from Canada to the hotel? Are you staying in an apartment?
Yeah.
You know? Okay, most hotels organize for transport for their guests.
Yeah.
But you get some people choose to like, I'm not gonna stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
I want to stay outside. Maybe like, for example, Canada, Toronto, I want to stay outside Toronto, you know? It's a distance.
Yeah.
But you've not done a background check, you know? You're like, oh, I got a very nice hotel down. But downtown, and you're like, you don't even want to do a background check and check how many kilometers away is it from the airport? How's the weather like, you know? You don't want to do, is it summer, is it winter? You know, you're landing at Canada with summer clothes and it's winter, you know? You're like, you start looking for shopping. I mean, so we always advise our clients to do background check. Yeah. But number one, you cannot be applying for tourist visa if you don't even have proof of where you're going to be staying, you know? In the first place. Because they'll require you to give the details as well of the place you're going to stay. If someone is hosting you, you also need to provide the details as well. And make sure that you have a return ticket. Yes, of course. But at the very least, have a passport. Let's just start from there. Because I know, I have seen this with a lot of people. I have also seen this each and every day. People want to travel and you do not have like a basic passport requirement. Please have it. So and it's a good thing to see that there are agencies, trusted agencies that are out there really to help people do that. But at the same time, we also have agencies that are not legit. All right. So like we said, do your background check, just bare minimum. All right. Get to understand who you're dealing with. Now, we understand, of course, as agencies, you know, like you guys are in business as well. We've seen a lot of agencies who would say, fine, we will help you do all those things. And especially for those ones who are going for work, right? When you get there and if you get a job, some percentage has to come back to us. Okay. So is this what usually happens, or there's some people who are just duping people out here? Because I want to believe by the time I'm coming to you, there's a fee that I need to pay you guys, right? Because you're doing all these things. But other than that, like, are we done? Contracted to Meisha Apple? Or every single month there's something that has to come back to, you know, a particular agency? Well, you find they are greedy people. I call them greedy. Okay. Because some people want to be like, oh, you know, I'll be getting 20% of your salary. Their salary does not even come to you direct. It comes to from the employer to their accounts. They're the ones who pay. It really happens. Okay. You understand? And it's very common, especially on these Gulf countries. We as a company don't do Gulf countries. Number one, we do not do Saudi Arabia, Qatar. No. I mean, we've had a lot of issues. We don't do that because you get to see there are too many issues out there. We do not want to see our brothers and sisters going through what we see on the internet, because these things are there and they're true. So what happens, we as a company, once we are able to process your work permit, all your documents, we do not take anything from your salary. Your salary comes into you. You understand? The only thing we do is that we follow up on our clientele. Okay. You understand? We don't just like make sure you've gone to Canada and just forget about you. You know, it's like we follow up. How you going on? You okay? How is everything? You know, we have our agents there. We have our agents in Canada and UK. They are there to make sure that your well-being is okay. We do not just tell people go. Okay. Like you see, most companies here, their work. You understand? They are just like companies want to make money out of people, not assist people. Of course, we cannot do it for free, but whatever we do is that we follow up and we do not touch your salary. It's your employment terms, your contract terms on your employment letter. You understand? Ours ends after we facilitate you with all that. We do not take up an extra penny from you from your salary from that day henceforth. Okay. So but ideally follow up on you, you know? Ideally that should not happen. Someone should not. It's illegal. Right? Should not take my salary. Why? I'm the one who's working hard. I'm the one who's sweating, you know? Okay. No, like you said, you're calling them greedy because, again, they tell you, but I'm the one who took you there. I'm the one who made sure that you go, and all those things. That should not happen. If you see that happen, that is a very big red flag, and you need to report that as soon as possible. Yes. Okay. What are some of these other red flags that people should be aware about? And this is after they've gotten the opportunity, because like we said, it's one thing to search for an opportunity. It's another thing to apply for an opportunity, but it's also another thing to get the opportunity, and just make sure that you are okay, you know, with the opportunity, so that we do not have some of these agencies who are duping people into even their salaries, right? So what are some of these other red flags that people should be on the lookout for after they have landed the opportunity? Red flag number one is if there's no contract. That's red flag number one. Yes. That you don't have a copy you can show we had the contract with you. You're just going to the station to report, oh, you know, this and this happened. Red flag number two, I said location of office. Okay. Red flag number three, if they do not have experience, how long have they been there? Red flag number four is you find the office staff is just like one person or two people. How do you tell me you're running a company, taking people abroad and you just have a secretary who's just, you know, and just you know, you have to have documentation people, IT people, finance. It's a whole company. A company is not built by two people. I mean, you understand? Red flag number three, they do not have a pay bill or an account, you know, somebody's like, send money to my number. You know, it happens.
Okay, yes.
Send me 07,
yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Now it happens.
Yeah.
Then you also find people insist, these con people insist on meeting. Let's meet in a hotel. Let's meet at, you know, at Java. Let's meet. That's a red flag already. Yeah, so I think those
an
are a few red
establishment that
flags.
is not their office, that has been there for
a while.
Period of time. Okay.
And also, the website. There are websites that are created and you look at it, it's so, oh my God, this is so legit.
This is not,
You know, they even have a strong page. Don't forget followers are bots.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
People buy followers on Instagram, Facebook. Don't see and you're like, they have 7,000 followers. They have 10,000 on TikTok.
Yeah. And then
they also have a website. You can easily create a website.
Yeah,
don't do any payment in a website.
Okay.
You understand?
All right. Yeah.
Don't do any payments on our website.
And I really like the fact that you're emphasizing on the contract issue, because we've had a lot of people report and they're not able to get help because, first of all, what shows that you were in conversation with this person or with this agency and this were the terms of the agreement and all those things. You have literally nothing to show, okay? And again, like we said earlier on, we've had a lot of people who, yes, they were sort of like quote unquote helped and they went and they're stranded. They have nowhere to go or who to call if anything happens, because again, it's a foreign country. Something can happen to you and you would need someone to call, either the agency or anything like that. So a contract is a good thing because you do not want to just dump people. Okay, so someone actually says here that going to the US is like a dream itself. Getting a visa is a problem. You're pampered with a lot of questions which have no answers, but going to fellow countries is easy like A, B, C. So then as agencies, and of course as people who are seeking some of these opportunities, right? How then do we make it easier? And I know this is more of like the country itself that one wants to go. It's their prerogative to see who we're giving the visas and who we are not giving the visas. But then again, how do we make the process a little bit easier for the people who are asking? I know you'll tell me come to the agency, but yeah, even still, how do we make it easier? Because it's not a guarantee that as an agency you will get this person a visa. Sometimes, like you said earlier on, they're being denied. Yeah. So then how do we make it easier for people?
Well, I'll emphasize we are an agency that facilitates visa. We do not give visas.
Yeah.
Embassy does give visas.
The visas, yeah.
So, well, how to make the process easy is by making sure you have a strong documentation.
Okay.
Because the visa, according to my years of experience, I find that the visa is your documentation.
Okay.
Your documentation is what is going to make it easy. You understand? But God forbid, you know, we have a very strong IT personnel in our company. You understand? So, well, we know how to do it.
All right.
You understand? But your documents is what is going to make it easy. Yeah.
You will do your part, but make sure that the documents speak for itself, sort of,
yes,
to also
and
make
also
the process easier for
documents, you know, you'll find the weird people out here. You're gonna bring, you go and generate yourself a bank statement, bring it to the company. You know, that is going to be denied. Do you sort of like run background checks to the people who are applying as well? Of course. Yeah. Because we also don't want to apply something, we don't want to facilitate something that is not legit. Okay. We have to check, are these legit documents? Are these, you know, good documents? Where are they from? You know, we run a background check before we start even the documentation. I mean, yeah, because at the end of the day, there's some people who also would want to go in the name of seeking greener pastures, but really their intention is not good, right? So I'm just curious in terms of like, also you run background checks just to make sure that... That is why we require a certificate of good conduct from the DCI. Okay. You have to get that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then let's talk about, because again, I can see our time is far much spent and we're about to end the conversation. But the whole question about fines. So you have gotten this opportunity. There's some people who go there and misbehave, right? Yeah, and that's then they have to be, happens. Right? Yes. Yeah. So what are some of these mistakes that people should avoid? And especially when you are in a foreign country, you're seeking for opportunities, you've gotten a chance to be there, but what are some of the mistakes that people do when they are in a foreign country that, again, they end up being deported? You know, instead of thriving and coming back home for those who want to come back home, or just, you know, thrive in general. Yeah. Well, some of the mistakes is you meet, for example, you know, I have worked with my agency for a while. Okay. So I get to hear these stories. Or you go to Canada and oh, you want to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, you get having fun. Maybe you learn how to drive, but you drive recklessly. Number one, the fees.
Bad manners.
What?
Please don't.
You learn greener pastures. You start driving, and you wanna drive drunk. You wanna break the rules. You know, sisi wa Kenya.
Yeah, sometimes.
Most of the times we do not.
Yeah.
Most of the times, we do not follow rules. You know? Now there is strict because especially parking fees, you get the traffic fines. They are very high.
Okay.
That is the mistake number one people make. They do not want to follow rules. Secondly, people go and want to have fun. You want to party each and every day. You forget, you get late to work. You understand your employer terminates your contract. You start calling us. You know, my contract has been terminated. I don't know what to do. You know. Then other mistakes people make, you're used to Kenya and you're like, hey, how are you? You look beautiful. You know, the way some Kenyan men approach our girls, our ladies out here, is not decent.
Okay.
It's really depressing.
Be courteous.
No, be courteous and know how to approach someone. You like a girl, approach her in a decent way. Okay. Because you get... It's very, very easy to be sued for sexual assault.
I mean, listen, yes. And sexual harassment is a thing.
Party, yes. You know, we have to talk about these things because they're happening. That's why we have to talk about them, you know. We don't just avoid them and just say, oh, no. We have to tell our young generation, once you get this greener pasture, be smart about how you do things. These countries, learn the rules in a country. That's true. Learn how a country operates.
And their culture as well. And be respectful.
Because you find there are countries that do not allow people to do certain things. You're used to doing whatever you do here in Kenya and you're like, see, it's just Canada, it's just UK, it's freedom. You know, I have heard these stories and they are new. They're not new to us. They happen each and every day. You're brought by your parents to our agency because most of our clientele are parents. They bring their babies. You go have fun, you're terminated. You go, you're like, you have cases in court. How are you in a foreign country? Number one, you're not even a citizen. And you already have cases in court.
Okay. All right.
It's all about self-discipline.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And of course, it's very much important. It doesn't matter whether you're in the country or not. Discipline is just key, all right? Because again, like you're saying, it's true. There's some people who have been arrested. Some have been deported because, again, simple things like understanding the culture of a particular people, you know, particular region of particular country. You find yourself in trouble for the same. Some have been arrested, like you're saying, which is absolutely true. So be mindful of the same. Okay, so then as we bring this to a close, what is it, and I want to take your parting shot as far as this mindset that a lot of people have, that once you go out there, you first of all immediately get rich, you know, you automatically, first of all, get these opportunities, you thrive there immediately and all those things. So what is it that you'd tell, first of all, the people who are seeking opportunities abroad, and even the ones who are in the country and have this perception as far as life abroad is? What is it that you would say very quickly as we end the show?
Well, I will say life abroad is fun. Okay. It's nice. Okay. It's beautiful. Yeah. There are nice sceneries. Yeah. But as I kept on emphasizing is just stay out of trouble. Okay. Just stay out of trouble, live your life, make money, and don't forget your parents, don't forget your family back here, you know. You don't go make a nice amount of money. You know, I have seen people living and they get a nice amount of money. They forget where they came from. Yeah. You know, east or west, home is always going to be the best. Yeah. Even if you go there and stay, get citizenship, get married, don't forget where you come from, you know. Yeah. But life abroad is sweet. Personally, I've been to Canada. I love it. I've been to the UK. Yeah. I really love it. Yeah. But you have to have life with a limit.
That's true.
And with a focus. Yeah. And with a future.
Yeah. Remember first of all why you're seeking. You sought that you know, opportunity in the first place, and just be disciplined. I think, like we said earlier on. You know what someone is saying right here on Facebook. Yeah. This is Amon Terkin Kwombo Sarame. Hey, on Facebook, who says, I tried, but the agent, waliniosha. So on the agents as well, could you speak on the agents very quickly before we end the conversation in terms of understanding legit and not legit ones? I think we talked about this before when we started the show, but again, just in case someone missed out on looking for, you know, trusted agents who are legit, what would you say?
Well, I think I'll just go back again. We had discussed that, but maybe for someone who did not hear, Red flag number one, do they have an office?
Okay.
Number two, they insist on meeting in a private place. They do not even have a contract. They do not even have a physical office. You also check how long have they been there. You do a background check. Don't do any payment on a website.
Okay.
Make sure you visit the current office and do your scrutinize check. Check kidogo background and everything. Then don't be fooled by social media followers. You can easily buy social media followers out here. Don't be like, oh, they have 10,000 views, they have 10,000 followers, they have 10,000 likes. And you're like, this aren't you legit? No, don't be fooled by that. And always be smart about something. Then the main thing is follow your instincts. Whatever your heart tells you, you know. Don't be overexcited to, oh, you're gonna take me to Canada, you know. We are seeing these stories happening each and every day on the news. Make sure you don't become a victim. Play smart, act smart, and gain smart.
And in case you become a victim, what do you do? Report? Who do you go to?
Well, you find that many people, victims, you get, they don't even have a proof. They just have, oh, you know, I came to this office. No, that's why we always, as an agency, I'll talk about my agency. I don't know about other agencies out here. All I know is that there are a lot of scammers out here pretending to be agencies. So what I usually tell someone, have a contract, have a proof, have a receipt you paid maybe a facilitation fee, have a proof, you know. Don't just be like, don't come to an agency and be like, oh, you know, you brought me here. Even if you go to court, you do not have evidence against them. It's just going to be you're wasting your time and your money, you know. You can't do that. All right, thank you so much, Ivy. We've learned a lot. Thank you for having me.
From today's conversation, Ivy Mariel, What's That Africa Limited, giving us all the tidbits and of course what you really need to know, you know, as far as seeking for these opportunities, and even once you land the opportunity, what is it that you need to do? All right, but for now, allow us to say goodbye. My name is Winnie Lubembe. Have yourselves a lovely day ahead. I'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, right here on Your World. But until then, stay safe. If you have more questions on social media handles, again, you know them by now, all right? Send them our way, and of course, we'll also forward them to Ivy. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day and see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Lifestyle Heights, the premier real estate development. We are thrilled to invite you to our open day on June 16th, 17th, and 18th. Don't miss this chance to secure your piece of the paradise. Lifestyle Heights, a new way of living.
I can't help feeling guilty about this.
Why?
She begged Andrea and me not to tell anyone. She said she'd tell you herself.
You mean you and Andre knew about the miscarriage from the start?
Remember the day we brought Anna home?
We need to convince Dennis that it's best for him to immediately divorce Anna. And the sooner he forgets about her, the better.
Could you find an opening at your company? I'm trying to help Hannity with her office job.
Hannity? The guy who stole money from you and Grandma?
Yes.
I didn't know you were such a humanist, Zana.
It's not humanism. I'm just being rational. To pay me back and Katerina Ivanivna, Hannah would have to work many shifts at the construction site. It's dangerous.
Head over heels.
Blueband peanut butter, made with 100% pure peanuts and a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with Blueband peanut butter. Available in 200 grams, 400 grams, and 800 grams. Buy a pack today.
You better have my money.
Good morning, rise and shine. Thank you for being with us dark and early on the Morning Fix. My name is David UK.
And I'm Mariam Bishar. This is where good music lives, and guaranteed your weekday mornings are never going to be the same again.
Wake up to the sound of David and Mariam on Nation FM.
Every single day, every single day.
They're your morning hosts with the most, bringing you the energy you need to start your day. Nation FM, where good music lives.
Let me see y'all. Dance.
Cheki, makarana kukujia.
Omba sana wasifike.
Hip hip, hey. Hip hip, hey.
Wewe msee. Imagine kanaweza tavunjika tu bones.
Nyamaza.
Jimu wako wapi?
Bacha jimu wako kutiba wewe tuende. Mosi ni nini mzae?
How do you keep your toilets clean? I use normal detergent and bleach for washing. The detergent and bleach cleanless can leave behind yellowness, rust, and germs. Harpic's 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach, and kills 99.9% illness-causing germs in your toilet, including the COVID-19 virus.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated GE. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Well, it's been that kind of weekend as far as Kenyan sports is concerned. The kind of weekend where our ladies take the whole country on their back and deliver us to success. What am I talking about? Faith Kipyegon, yet another world record. And just today, Angela Okutoi, that tennis sensation, showing us what to do. She really rallied her teammates, and in the end, they did beat Morocco, yes. Hello and welcome to Sport On. It's time for us to discuss what happened in the world of sports and also just look forward to what to expect throughout the week. And now, my main guy, Mr. Bernard Ndong, is currently on his way back to Kenya. Lucky chap. He was out at the Champions League. But not to worry, because David Kwalimwa said, you know what, I can step in and help you guide this road the next 1 hour. Kwalimwa, thank you so much for coming up. How was your weekend, Ben?
Wonderful. Wonderful. I know you just introduced me as a backup keeper, but I'll be able for the...
No, you're backup like Ederson and Alisson in Brazil.
Yes,
quality versus quality.
Yes. So I'll be up for the task. The weekend was awesome. I mean, the sports that we witnessed and the Kenyan athletes doing their things all over the world, it was worth the show.
Well, and speaking of Kenyan athletes doing their best and showing us exactly what they can do, that's where we start, because Faith Kipyegon, believe it or not, did it a week early in Florence. Then on Friday night, she decided, you know what, I can go one better. She now owns 2 world records in the women's 5,000 meters. Kwalimwa, what a run, what an athlete, what a Friday it was.
I remember texting you and asking why he transited to the 5,000-meter race, because she did 1,500 meters the week before, got the record. Everybody was still celebrating. I'm not so sure we were done with the celebrations as yet. Then she goes to 5,000 meters and does that. I just didn't quite expect it for 5,000 meters, because she's not quite a regular with the 5,000 meters. She's run it before, but Faith just has this potential that is yet to even get to anywhere near the maximum.
I felt like it was a case of them knowing she's in such good shape. Let us give it a try, because that race had global sports written all over it. Yes. She was paced